Hi folks, my name is Philip Hatter and I'm the Director of Coffee and Training here at Vienna Coffee Company. We figured since you probably have a lot of time at home right now, maybe we'd give you some tools to help you brew better coffee at home since you can't be in our cafe at the moment. What I'd like to do today is start with the French press. I think this is something that maybe most folks have around the house other than a machine brewer. And so what I want to do is kind of talk about some ways you can make your French press experience just a little bit better. So let's talk about tools, things we're going to need. We need the press. It would be super helpful if you had a kitchen scale of some kind, something that can weigh in grams preferably. The nice thing about this one is it has a built-in timer, so I can time the brew because we are going to be timing this out. If you don't have a built-in timer, you can use your phone or some other way of timing. You need coffee, great Vienna coffee. And so today I'm going to be brewing the Vienna Coffee House blend in the French press. What we're going to do is take 50 grams of coffee that is fairly coarse ground. So we have our coffee ready, our scale, our French press, and hot water. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to preheat our French press. Most of your presses are, if they're not ceramic, they're either glass or metal. And so when hot water hits those, you lose temperature, which also means you lose taste. So we want to preheat our vessel. I've already preheated this French press here. We're going to set it on our scale. First thing I want to do, add my coffee to the French press. Now, I'm not going to just go ahead and fill this thing up. We could do that, but we're looking for optimal taste. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something called a bloom. And a bloom is where we're going to pour a little bit of hot water on top of our grounds and let them expand. What happens when you roast coffee is CO2 builds up inside those coffee cell walls. And when we put the hot water on, they immediately release that gas, especially if it's really fresh. So we want to let that bloom for 30 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and fill it up. We're looking for an overall time of 4 minutes. So let's get started. We're zeroed out so that I'm only weighing my water. I'm going to start my timer as soon as I start pouring in the water. And so I'm going to pour a little bit of water, get everything nice and wet. About 100 grams should do the trick. Take a spoon and just give it a really good stir. You want to make sure just everything gets nice and saturated. Now, at 30 seconds, we'll go ahead then and fill up the French press. Almost there. So we'll now just fill it up. You can use any kind of kettle at home. It could be just a regular tea kettle. In terms of temperature, you want to make sure that you're really no hotter than about 205 degrees. So if you're bringing your water to a boil, you want to make sure that you set that water off of the heating element for about 30 seconds to let the water come down in temperature. So we've got our water in our French press. My timer is going. I'm going to put my lid on here. So what's going to happen is at 4 minutes, we're going to go ahead and plunge the plunger, and then we're going to go ahead and serve our coffee. Ideally, what you want to do is go ahead and serve all of the coffee if you can. I've got 2 cups here. Full-size French press will serve at least 2 good-sized cups of coffee. The reason we don't want to let the coffee just sit in here is the water and the coffee are still together, which means it's still extracting. And so any longer than 4 minutes, you're going to over extract that coffee and it's going to get really bitter. We don't want that taste. So at 4 minutes, we're going to go ahead and press down slowly on our plunger. What this does is it pushes all of those coffee grounds to the bottom. Now the nice thing about a French press is because there's no real filter, it's more of a mesh screen. You get all of the oils in the coffee into the beverage and you get some of the fine particles. So it has a really heavy sort of a taste and a heavy mouthfeel. So we're gonna go ahead and serve up, oh look at that. That smells really good. We'll serve a couple of cups here. And that is that. Really easy to brew a French press. And just by taking a couple of small details to mind, I think you can get a much better taste out of your coffee. Let's give it a sip and see what happened. That's fantastic. French press is a great first morning cup. It also makes a fantastic coffee with that after dinner dessert. Well, since you'll be home all day, you're probably going to need some caffeine to get you motivated, so really you can brew it any time of the day. Thanks for watching, and thank you so much for your continued support of Vienna Coffee Company and Coffee House during this time. We're all going to get through this together, but thank you so much for your support.